Hey y'all, we're thrilled to announce an exclusive paranormal investigation in collaboration with Three Sisters Paranormal at the Powerhouse Resort Mayberry Mansion. Join us on September 13th before the Head of the Dragon festivities on the 28th for a ghost hunt like no other. For just $10 per person, you can explore this historic mansion, which has never been investigated before. With a dark and mysterious history, the Mayberry Mansion is the perfect location for a night of thrills and chills. All proceeds will go towards the ongoing economic development of the Head of the Dragon Trail. So not only will you experience something truly unique, but you'll also support a great cause. Don't miss out on this one-of-a-kind event. Secure your spot today and get ready for an unforgettable Friday the 13th. RSVP now by visiting the link in our show notes and prepare to uncover the secrets hidden within the Mayberry Mansion.
Mountain State Mysteries contains adult content that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm your host, Mark.
And I'm Courtney.
And this is Mountain State Mysteries. The case we have for you today is about a girl who had her entire life ahead of her. It's about a girl whose life was taken far too soon. This is the case of Theresa Ann Woods. Theresa Ann Woods was born on April 6, 1972 in Montgomery, West Virginia, to Betty and Donald Woods. Theresa grew up in the small town of Powhatan, West Virginia. Theresa's dad owned a grocery store in Kimberly, West Virginia. When Theresa was young, her parents Betty and Donald ended up getting a divorce.
Theresa was the type of girl that was really quiet. She was very shy unless you knew her. But Theresa was a very loving person.
In 1985, Theresa moved to Oak Hill, West Virginia with her mother Betty and her stepfather Rick Holcomb. Powhatan isn't far from Oak Hill. It's just about a 35-minute drive. However, for Theresa, this was a big move. She had a small group of friends, and she was really close to her family in Powhatan. She really just had her mom, which her mom was her best friend. In September of 1985, Theresa would start school at Collins Middle School. Betty and her stepfather Rick would work at B&B Convalescent, which was an ambulance service. They would pick people up and take them to doctor's appointments and such. It wouldn't be until February of 1986 when Theresa seemed like she was finally settling into her new life in Oak Hill. The three lived in a trailer on Butler Street. The trailer was actually owned by Betty and Rick's bosses, Robert and Billy Skaggs, which just seemed to be amazing for Theresa. She started a friendship with her daughter, Angel Skaggs. You're listening to Mountain State Mysteries, West Virginia's true crime podcast that digs into the missing persons, homicide cases, survival stories, and the mysteries of the Mountain State and beyond. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow the show, download, and rate it on your favorite podcast platform. It helps others find good West Virginia true crime podcasts.
February 20th, 1986 started as a normal day for Theresa. She was getting ready for school and she asked her mom how she looked. She wore a purple top, blue jeans, a blue jean jacket, and dangly earrings. Her red hair was styled just like what Theresa saw on a magazine cover. Her mom drove her to school, and when she got out, she told her mom that she loved her.
And the morning that Theresa went to school, she came up missing. She told her mom, she said, "Mom, I don't want to go to school today." My aunt said, you don't know how many times I wished I would let her stay home that day. But she went ahead, she took her to school that morning and told Theresa, she said she'd see her that afternoon, and Theresa told her that she loved her and hugged her and kissed her, and that was it.
After school, Theresa would walk from Collins Middle School to where her mom and stepfather worked, which was only a 17-minute walk. She would meet Angel at the former 7-Eleven gas station, which is right by Collins Middle School, and they would walk together. However, on February 20th, Angel brought home books for her brother Alan, who was homesick. So Angel rode the bus to B&B. Theresa didn't know this, so she was waiting for Angel at the 7-Eleven. At 3 p.m. on February 20th, Theresa was seen standing outside of the 7-Eleven on Jones Avenue, leaning up against a pole. This was the last time Theresa was seen.
Not too long after this, Angel Skaggs arrived at B&B Convalescent, which is in a group of buildings across from the Wendy's in Oak Hill, West Virginia. After a few hours, Theresa's mother Betty and her stepfather knew something was wrong when she didn't show up. They both knew that Theresa wasn't the type of girl to do anything like this.
She was afraid of the dark. She was afraid to be by herself at nighttime. When she would go to her dad's, her grandma was like in the same yard as her dad, right next door. And he had to stand at his door and watch her walk from his front door to her grandma's front door before she would even do anything like that. So for her to be gone overnight and to just take off, it wasn't her. So we knew something was seriously wrong that day.
So Betty wasted no time. She contacted the local authorities and Theresa's father, Donald, who immediately closed his grocery store and went straight to Oak Hill. He joined everyone in the search for Theresa.
But I had a family dressed up and walked up and down streets. They walked up and down. I mean, we searched everywhere. When my aunt called and said that she didn't come home that day, our family instantly went straight up there and began to look for her because we knew it was out of character. And the law kept trying to tell us, oh, she's just a runaway. She would have never ran away. She had no reason to run away. And if she would have ran away, she'd have ran away to her dad's.
Police believed that Theresa was a typical teenage runaway. In an article, it said, quote, Theresa Ann Woods, 13-year-old daughter of Rick and Betty Holcomb of 201 Butler Street, Oak Hill, who has been missing since 3 p.m., February 20th, has not been located. According to state police who contacted the Holcomb residents Wednesday morning, evidence indicated that the girl may be a runaway rather than a victim of foul play. But state police are still pursuing the investigation in Oak Hill and Golly Bridge, where she reportedly has friends, end quote. However, after checking with Betty and Rick, police found out that Theresa took none of her belongings with her. Collins Middle School confirmed to the police that Theresa stayed at school all day. To Betty, the runaway theory made no sense. She said that Theresa was looking forward to her birthday on April 6th because she was getting a color television as one of her presents. Do you ever find yourself searching for a true crime podcast focused on West Virginia? Well, I have you covered. I'm Mark Covey, the creator of Mountain State Mysteries, where every Friday, my co-host Courtney and I will tell you about one of West Virginia's coldest unsolved cases. Tune into Mountain State Mysteries on your favorite podcast platform. Hey y'all, we're thrilled to announce an exclusive paranormal investigation in collaboration with Three Sisters Paranormal at the Powerhouse Resort Mayberry Mansion. Join us on September 13th before the Head of the Dragon festivities on the 28th for a ghost hunt like no other. For just $10 per person, you can explore this historic mansion, which has never been investigated before. With a dark and mysterious history, the Mayberry Mansion is the perfect location for a night of thrills and chills. All proceeds will go towards the ongoing economic development of the Head of the Dragon Trail. So not only will you experience something truly unique, but you'll also support a great cause. Don't miss out on this one-of-a-kind event. Secure your spot today and get ready for an unforgettable Friday the 13th. RSVP now by visiting the link in our show notes and prepare to uncover the secrets hidden within the Mayberry Mansion.
Donna Woods did report that Theresa seemed upset during her last 3 weekend visits with him. In another article, it said, quote, about a month before Theresa Ann disappeared, Betty said something was bothering her, but she would not discuss it. She apparently wanted to return to her former school, but her mother told her to finish the year at Collins Middle School in Oak Hill, and then they would talk about changing schools. Theresa Ann's natural father, Hank Woods, operated a store in Kimberly. Woods said he noticed Theresa Ann was upset about something prior to her disappearance. I think whatever happened started 3 weeks before she disappeared, said Woods. She wouldn't tell me what it was about. She asked to come and stay with me, end quote.
Another reason everyone knew Theresa didn't run away is because she had a new boyfriend. Her boyfriend worked part-time at an IGA grocery store, which was directly across the road from the 7-Eleven on Jones Avenue. The boy, who we're going to call Johnny, said he didn't see Theresa after school. On February 20th, his father said they received a call from a girl who he assumed was Theresa, but he wasn't sure. The girl asked if Johnny was home, and when his dad said no, she hung up. After all of this, police finally decided to move away from the runaway theory. In an article it said, quote, 4 weeks ago today, an Oak Hill couple last saw their teenage daughter. Rick Holcomb said he has heard no word about his missing stepdaughter. My wife told me knowing Thursday will be 4 weeks means she's going to have a bad day, end quote. Authorities became worried even though no child had been abducted in Oak Hill for 20 years. Police began to wonder if that could have happened.
What they did think is that Theresa knew and trusted her abductor. Local press, radio, and newspaper told Theresa's story, and her family even covered Oak Hill and the surrounding areas with Theresa's missing poster. It's said that almost every single business had a picture of Theresa hanging in their windows. Sadly, with all of this, and even searching, Theresa wasn't found. In an article from April 19th, 1986, it said, quote, after 8 weeks, 13-year-old Theresa Woods is still missing. Her stepfather, Rick Holcomb, said, quote, I guess they're doing all they can, but I don't think they have enough manpower. He also wonders why area police have not contacted the FBI. Holcomb and his wife have contacted more national agencies for missing children, but no success. In the meantime, it's just a waiting game, he said, end quote. Sadly, Theresa's 14th birthday came and went.
You're listening to Mountain State Mysteries, West Virginia's true crime podcast that digs into the missing persons, homicide cases, survival stories, and the mysteries of the Mountain State and beyond. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow the show, download, and rate it on your favorite podcast platform. It helps others find good West Virginia true crime podcasts.
On June 5th, 1986, around 8 p.m., 2 men who lived at Laurel Creek, John and Gerald Davis, went to fish for minnows in a nearby stream. While walking, John Davis stumbled upon a human skull that was somewhat in the water on the edge of the creek. Gerald and John contacted the Fayette County Sheriff's Department, who sealed off the area. They searched the area all night and into the following morning. Authorities found more human remains around the area the skull was found, some clothing fragments, and some jewelry. Authorities also found a few strands of bright red hair. Seeing the hair, they had a gut feeling on who they had found.
Clothing and the remains were sent to the state medical examiner's office. Sadly, identification was delayed a few days because Theresa's dental records were sent to California to be entered into a national database for missing children. In an article from Friday, June 6, 1986, it said, quote, the body of a girl found Thursday by minnow hunter in Laurel Creek is believed to be that of an Oak Hill girl missing since February 20th. Police said a body fitting the description of Theresa Woods, 13, was found in Laurel Creek off US 19 about 8 p.m. Thursday, said Sergeant T.C. Monk of the State Police Detachment in Oak Hill. We're not positive on the identification yet, but the description fits and we're going from there, Monk said. The body was found by a boy hunting minnows in the creek, Monk said. Police are investigating the death as a homicide. The body will be taken to the state medical examiner's office in South Charleston, he said. Monk said state and county police are following leads, but no arrests have been made yet, end quote.
A few days later, West Virginia State Medical Examiner Irvin Sulphur confirmed everyone's beliefs. Sulphur also said that Theresa had been a victim of homicide. To this day, the cause of Theresa's death has never been released. Police have said that they believe that Theresa's murder was sexually motivated. The discovery of Theresa's remains gave authorities some issues. 4 months passed since Theresa was last seen alive.
They decided it was smart to try to trace Theresa's steps that day. They knew she was last seen at the 7-Eleven on Jones Avenue, and they knew that she would have walked 6 blocks to where her mom and stepfather worked. Her remains were found 9 miles away from the 7-Eleven at Laurel Creek, and about 1/4 mile away from the main road. When her body was found, she was completely skeletonized. The remains were scattered around the creek, which authorities believed that it was due to animal activity. All of the clothing and jewelry found around Theresa's remains were matching what she wore to school that day. This made authorities believe that she was killed on February 20th or a little after.
One of the questions everyone had then, and that we still have today in 2024, is how did Theresa get from the 7-Eleven on Jones Avenue to Laurel Creek? How did she get there without being seen in a vehicle with someone? In the 9-mile drive, there are only 2 ways to get there. There are no shortcuts or no intersecting roads. Authorities believe that whoever killed Theresa knew the area of Laurel Creek.
In a news article it said, quote, Fayette County authorities are still investigating the murder of a 14-year-old girl whose decomposed remains were found almost 6 weeks ago. Theresa Ann Woods was last seen in Oak Hill on February 20th. Her remains were discovered by fishermen on Laurel Creek Road near Fayetteville on June 5th. We're making progress, Trooper R.L. Hall of the Oak Hill State Police Detachment said Wednesday. We do have suspects. We're still interviewing people, said Corporal Everett Steele, end quote.
They also said that they found a clue that could be crucial to the case, which has never been released, what this clue is, but we believe to know what it is, and well, it's some pretty damning evidence. By November of 1986, the investigation seemed to have turned cold. Both police departments put out an appeal for anyone with any information about the murder of Theresa Ann Woods to contact them. In 2011, the case was passed down to Captain J.L. Cahill as an effort by the West Virginia State Police to re-examine cold cases. He then assigned the case to then Sergeant Jason Davis of the Oak Hill Detachment.
Do you ever find yourself searching for a true crime podcast focused on West Virginia? Well, I have you covered. I'm Mark Covey, the creator of Mountain State Mysteries, where every Friday, my co-host Courtney and I will tell you about one of West Virginia's coldest unsolved cases. Tune into Mountain State Mysteries on your favorite podcast platform. Hey y'all. We're thrilled to announce an exclusive paranormal investigation in collaboration with Three Sisters Paranormal at the Powerhouse Resort Mayberry Mansion. Join us on September 13th before the Head of the Dragon festivities on the 28th for a ghost hunt like no other. For just $10 per person, you can explore this historic mansion, which has never been investigated before. With a dark and mysterious history, the Mayberry Mansion is the perfect location for a night of thrills and chills. All proceeds will go towards the ongoing economic development of the Head of the Dragon Trail. So not only will you experience something truly unique, but you'll also support a great cause. Don't miss out on this one-of-a-kind event. Secure your spot today and get ready for an unforgettable Friday the 13th. RSVP now by visiting the link in our show notes and prepare to uncover the secrets hidden within the Mayberry Mansion. In 2021, an article by Jessica Farish of the Register-Herald announced that Theresa Ann Woods' case was reopened by the West Virginia State Police. Corporal J. Kincaid said, quote, "A new lead was given to police earlier this year," end quote. He said he was still investigating it. Since then, Theresa's case has been cold.
I'm not going to give up on this case until I give my last breath. My mom deserves justice almost everything that day. So we just feel like we're at a loss. But I'm not giving up until I breathe my last breath. I will not give up. Even if my aunt passes before she gets her justice, I still will not give up. But I just want eventually to get closure. I want to know. I don't want to know what they done to her. I don't care. I just want to know who and why. We miss her every day. We think about her all the time. I mean, her mom's got all the newspaper articles. Every newspaper article that involved her case, she's got it.
To Theresa's murderer, we think it's about to all fall apart for you. People are going to know who you are, your name, and how awful of a person you are. Theresa was so much more in her 13 years than you'll ever be. I would pay attention to how people treat you now, because it's not going to last much longer. The clock is ticking, and your secret won't stay hidden for long. It's past time for someone who knows anything to come forward. Theresa's family has waited almost 38 years with no answers.
If you're someone that knows anything on the murder of Theresa Ann Woods, please call Crime Stoppers at 304-255-STOP. Again, that's 304-255-7867. You can even submit a tip online at www.crimestopperswestvirginia.org.
You are not required to give your name and are able to submit anonymously. If you find yourself enjoying Mountain State Mysteries, take a second to follow, download, and rate it on your favorite podcast platform. It helps others find good West Virginia true crime podcasts.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, all at Mountain State Mysteries.
Do you have a case you want us to cover? Send us an email at mountainstatemysteries304@gmail.com.
For the show notes, check out our website, mountainstatemysteriespodcast.com.